This is the unboxing of the TDR Robin. Not the Pro version, the standard version. Nice little thing here. Got a carrying case handle. Very nice. Slide that out. Slot and tab. You can see everything's nicely packaged in here. Controller, and the control sticks are protected in foam. We got the quad itself. There's where the battery slides in. You got the 5-point antenna. There's the camera on it. Nice little rubber feet. Here's the battery. It says it's closed up in there. Can't really see the size. There is no on-off button on here, so once you plug the battery in, it turns on. This bag is taken in good. The bag. I see LiPo for the transmitter. You got spare props. There's a 4 gig micro SD card and USB reader. There's a charging port station for the Quadcopter battery. I'm not seeing anything else in there sticking out. Protecting it good. Alright, transmitter. Pop the sunshade up. And there's the LCD screen. You got on off here, you got your trims. Got buttons up here. It's kind of a different feel. It's wider feeling in the hand. I'm not going to say it's a bad feel. Sticks don't feel very loose, so that's a good feeling. And the sunshade just snaps closed. And here's where you plug the LiPo in. And underneath the box is the manual. Always, always, always read the manual. Always read the manual. So there you have it. The unboxing of the TDR Robin Standard. Alright, speed 1. Very calm, tame. Speed 2. A little bit more forward motion. Speed 3. My preference. Return to home. And crash. Alright, I've got 3 flights on the TDR Robin Standard Edition. Standard Edition. When I was asked to do a review of this product, I got excited because as I started doing research on a product I didn't know about, I started seeing advertisements for a 360-degree rotation, orbit mode, a head holding mode for picture taking, and an 8 gig micro SD card. And when it arrived, I started looking at it, and none of that was here. And come to find out, there's 2 versions of the TDR Robin. There's the standard version, which what I have, which is white body with black rear arms. 1 LiPo for the quad, LiPo for transmitter, a 4 gig micro SD card with reader, single port USB charger for the quadcopter's battery, and the USB port charger for the transmitter LiPo, and the transmitter. Transmitters are the same. What's different between the Pro version and the standard version is, 1, the color. The Pro version is going to be yellow where it's white. Also have a prop guard. Will come with, I think, 2 batteries for the quad and a 3-port USB charger for the quadcopter batteries. The Pro version has the 360-degree orbit, the auto land, an 8 gig card. So this is my summary and conclusion review after 3 flights of the TDR Robin Standard. Overall, I really like it. It flies just like my Hubsan X4 FPV H107D unit. In my opinion, the flips on the TDR are a lot tighter and quicker and easier to perform with the push button. The transmitter here, you push this button up here, press it once, and then you push the direction on your right control stick in mode 2 transmitters, and it will flip. This button here is what you're referring to speeds. There's 3 speed modes, 1, 2, and 3. I prefer to fly in 3. It just feels like that's what gives me the best control flies the way I like to fly as a very experienced remote controlled aviation modeler. This LiPo here, the connector is the same size as the connector used on the MCPX batteries that were sold under the Blade name by Horizon Hobby. However, this hard plastic case around it, I have not been able to see what size it is. I know Tenergy makes a replacement battery that's a black hard case. That's advertised as a 1S380 milliamp pack. I've seen that they sell for about $9.99 on Amazon. So overall, it's a good quadcopter. It flies just like the Hubsan, like I mentioned. The field of view on the camera is narrow. It's narrow, just as narrow as the Hubsans. So it's kind of hard to actually use the camera for FPV. What I tend to do is fly around line of sight, and then if I want to get somewhere to take a picture, get it in a good stable hover. Get it in a good stable hover first. Without being in a good stable hover, when you press the button and take a picture, and the picture's going to be blurred, it's not going to look that good. But if you can get it in a good stable hover and sitting still, the picture's going to look okay. It is a 2 megapixel camera, 720p video. The pictures are up to a 1600 pixels by 1200 pixels, so 1600 by 1200. Video is recorded directly on the SD card on the quadcopter itself. There's a slot for it here, right above kind of mid-body. So any type of loss of signal or interference you'll have with the transmitter won't be recorded. Some negatives, like I've mentioned, the field of view, the proprietary battery. You can't just go like the Hubsan and buy extra batteries to plug in. You actually have to get one of these that has the plastic case around it to be able to slide it in. There are times where, especially the first 2 or 3 flights, this little tab is what clicks the battery in. I've had trouble being able to press it down to pull the battery out. It seems like as I use it more, it gets a little bit better. The spring on it gets a little bit better. I have had some hard crashes with it where I've slammed into some playground equipment in my backyard, and the battery has actually popped out a few times. I've bent some props and bent them back. This still flies. These props appear to be the same size as the Hubsan Hubsan H107D X4 SPV. So I got some extra props laying around. That's good. In my opinion, the transmitter monitor is better than the Hubsans. I didn't know if I was going to like this wide controller feel at first, but I actually do like it. It makes it easier to be able to look down at the screen without really feeling like you're overstepping yourself. There's little rubberized grips here to help hold on to it. It's really easy. The buttons here on the top right, push one way for a still picture and the other way to record. When it's recording, there's a LED right there underneath the QC stickers. It's not really, camera's not focusing, but it'll be green when it's not recording, and then when you're recording, it'll flash red. There's 2 red LEDs here on the back. That's really easy to see. When you get into around storage charge voltage, those LEDs will start flashing. Then when you get really too low, the quadcopter will just turn off itself. I've been able to get 2 5-minute flights off of one charge of this battery for the transmitter. It is a 1S500 milliamp. Like I said, overall, I think it's a good quadcopter. Just watch out on the crashes. I did have an issue where for my 3rd flight, I wanted to turn it back on. It ended up binding, but the rear LEDs were flashing, and I could see the picture from the FPV system, but motors wouldn't spin up. Checked the manual that said it was an indication of a low battery. I thought I had charged the battery this morning using a Surface tablet, but put the battery for the quadcopter back on charge, and yeah, it was charging, and it was done in about 5 minutes. So battery didn't get fully charged. Once I fully charged it, rebound it to the quad, and it's flying just great. So overall, I think it's a good quadcopter. It would be nice to have some more batteries available for purchase aftermarket, just so you don't have to spend 5 minutes flying, almost an hour to charge. You know, especially when you let the battery cool down. Always let the battery cool down after flying before you recharge it. LiPos are very finicky. Then let the battery cool down after it's charged. But if you got a portable battery bank that we have for smartphones nowadays, take that with you. You can charge it up off of that, no problem. I've done that before. It's good. So overall, I enjoyed the quadcopter. I think it's great competition for the Hubsan X4 FPV H107 unit. I'm going to be throwing it around the yard with it. It's going to be one of these that I like to go out in the backyard with. It'll be interesting to see what the Pro version does compared to it, how it flies, and all the features there. One thing I do caution, this says it has an auto return if pressing down on one of the sticks. It will attempt to fly back, however, it's not reliable. In my opinion, it didn't fly back the way I wanted it to. It would crash into things. In my opinion, a return to home really needs to use GPS and go back to a GPS coordinate. So don't rely on return to home, in my opinion. And the headless mode, I don't like headless mode. I have many years of RC flying, so I know how it's instinctive for me when the quadcopter aircraft's looking at me. If I want it to go to my left, I give it right to go this way, and vice versa this way, because those controls are reversed. But for some other people, you don't like that. You press a button, and in that way, if you press right on the stick, it'll go this way, right. If you press left on the stick, it goes right. And it's just too confusing for me. Again, I'm ingrained in the old school way of flying, with growing up on FM transmitters, not even having digital trims at the time. So for me, I don't like headless mode, but it's an option there if you need it, if you want to use it. Whereas my Hubsan X4 FPV doesn't even have that as an option, so that's a plus. Again, great competition. Price point, I believe, is about $109.99, $110 on Amazon. That's about cheaper than what I've seen with a lot of the Hubsan units going for. So if you pick one up, you definitely would not be disappointed. Just watch out for taking the battery in and out. Try to get that spring exercised a couple of times to make it easier on you. I like how there's a micro to USB converter already. Don't have to have any special software. Don't have to reformat the card every time like the Hubsan units. Overall, honestly, if there was more batteries available aftermarket, I would say get this one over to Hubsan, because there's just so much more here that I wish the Hubsan unit had. But if you're going to fly strictly FPV, don't rely on the camera too much. It's a very narrow field of view. I have a wide-angle lens that I'm going to be rigging up to try on it later to see if that helps it out. But again, if you want something to fly line of sight, take some pictures, take some video, use a monitor to check how your video and pictures are going to look. Great little unit. So